Hello everyone, this is Vinod Kulkarni, lecturer Department of CSND, Jain Polytechnic Belgavi. So today I am going to deal with the unit 1 of the subject operating system, that is Introduction to Operating System. So we will see the contents. First I will deal with the Introduction to Operating System, then operating system structure, its operations, process management, memory management, and lastly storage management. So operating system, it is a program which manages the computer hardware. It creates an interaction between the user and computer hardware, means it provides an interface between the communication between the user and the computer hardware. So some examples of operating systems are Microsoft Windows, Macintosh, Red Hat, Ubuntu, and Fedora. So how the operating system structure is. So the structure is defined by the multi-programming and time sharing. So multi-program is an important aspect of operating system in which multiple programs are executed. So the advantage of multi-programming is what? It increases the CPU utilization by organizing the jobs. Job is nothing but the processes. So in multi-programming system, the operating system switches to and executes and other jobs. When the job needs to wait, the CPU switches to another job. Okay, and it will go on like that. So there are various system resources like CPU, memory, which are utilized efficiently using the multi-programming. Time sharing is also called as multitasking. It is a logical extension of multi-programming. In these systems, the CPU executes multiple jobs by switching among them. So the time-shared operating systems allows many users to share the computer simultaneously. So as you can see in the diagram, this is a memory layout. So where the operating system is residing on the memory given to the operating system, followed by the jobs. Jobs means nothing but the processes. So the operating system operations. So it deals with the dual mode operation followed by the timer. So in dual mode operation, there are two modes of operation: user mode and kernel mode. Kernel mode is also called as supervisor mode or system mode or privileged mode. So it is differentiated, keeping in mind regarding the execution of OS code and the user defined code. So to ensure that whether the operating system is in user mode or kernel mode, a bit called the mode bit is added to hardware of the computer to indicate whether the system is in user mode or kernel mode. If the bit is 0, it is kernel mode, and if the bit is 1, it is user mode. So using the mode bit, we are able to identify whether the operating system is working in the user mode or kernel mode. When the computer system is executing on the behalf of user application, the system is in user mode. Otherwise, if the system requests a service from the OS, then the system, using system call, so it will transit from user to kernel mode to fulfill the request. But when a trap or interrupt occurs, the hardware switches from user mode to kernel mode. So next is the timer. So the timer is required to control the execution of the programs. Okay, so it is used to interrupt the computer after specified period. The period can be fixed or variable. The timer is in the timer sets the time in the form of milliseconds. So each time the timer increments, the counter decrements. When the counter reaches 0, an interrupt occurs. So we can prevent a user to execute a program to the limit. So the process management, so the operating system is responsible for the process management. So we'll see the tasks regarding the process management. So first is creating and deleting both user and system processes, suspending and resuming processes, providing mechanisms for process synchronization, providing mechanisms for process communication, and scheduling processes and threads on the memory management, keeping track of which parts of memory are currently being used and by whom, deciding which processes and data to move into and out of memory, allocating and deallocating memory space. Next, storage management. Under storage management, it comes file system management, mass storage management, caching, IO system. So file system management is related to the storage of the files. So here we are dealing with the files only. So the tasks of the operating system is related to this file system management is creating and deleting files, creating and deleting directories to organize files, supporting primitives for manipulating files and directories, mapping files onto secondary storage, backing up files on stable storage. So related to mass storage system, mass storage means what? Where the data is in large amount. we have to store large amounts of data. So the tasks responsible for operating system is that first one is most programs like compilers, assemblers, word processors, editors and formatters are stored on the disk. So disk is used as both source and destination of the processing. Next is free space management. Free space means what? Allocating the space for the different programs. Storage allocation, it deals with the allocating the storage of different data. Disk scheduling, what is disk scheduling? Deals with the there are different algorithms for disk scheduling. Caching, cache is a faster storage system where the data is stored on a temporary basis. So while accessing data, first we will check in the system whether the data is stored in the cache. If it is present, data is directly accessed from the cache. If it is not present, data is accessed from some storage system and a copy is kept in the cache for future. Next is I/O systems. I/O means what? Input output. The systems which are responsible for input and output operations we are called as I/O systems. So it deals with the memory management component including buffering, caching and spooling. It includes the general device driver interface and drivers for specific hardware. Thank you.